The Barossa Valley in South Australia is home to vineyards, fine wines, historic towns and churches, and the 1998 Shannon's Insurance Australian Hillclimb Championship. Collingrove was opened in 1952 and held its first Australian Championship in 1954. The track remains the same and the challenge is still the same. Speed hill climbing caters for all classes, from unlimited capacity single-seaters through sports cars, road cars, sports sedans like David Marn's Tirana, club cars, historics and karts. Competition was held over 2 days and everyone was trying to find their limit. Champion Roger Harrison tried too hard. Stan Pobjoy was pressing on. Robert Mills put in a full 360 through the finish line. For others, it's a nervous wait until the finish line is reached. And Andrew Mitchell tried a shortcut. He might need some of Shannon's insurance. In the paddock, cars were prepared and computers consulted. Favourites were Peter Gumley in the SCV and Roger Harrison in the Tiger Repco. We concentrate on the fastest cars in their battle to win the Australian title. And first away, Neville Trainer in the Hay Honda. The outright record is held by local driver Kim Rawlack at 29.81 seconds. Up through the tight S's where it's essential to be neat and flowing. With the supercharged Honda singing, Trainer crosses the line in 32.75 seconds. Peter Finlay, but when that one had problems, Roger Harrison generously offered to share his Tiger Repco, the championship favourite. Finlay, who runs a racing driver school, was cautious at first before getting to grips with the power of the 4.8-litre Repco engine. Collingrove has split times at 2 points along the course, developed by Payne Electronics, and Finley's second split, 19.23 seconds. The first time Finley sat in the car was when he was lining up for a competitive run. He kept it on track for 32.65. Stan Pobjoy is the doyen of VW engine builders and he's quick off the line. The first split, 6.35 seconds, the fastest all weekend. The second split, 19.05, and he's inside Finlay's time. Pobjoy prepares a fleet of very quick VWs that also hill climb, and if you want a drag bike engine, he's the man to see. A steady run, and he takes the lead in 32.64. Next away, Bruce Coombe in the 2-litre Cheetah. A good deal of skill is needed to keep the cars on the 3-metre wide hill, which has little room for error. If you're offline or miss a gear change, then the chance for a quick time is gone. Climbs are measured to 100th of a second. 6.71 for the first split and 19.11 at the second mark. The Sporting Car Club of South Australia has organised Collingrove Hillclimbs since the beginning. Collingrove is part of the famous Angus family property, Tarrawatta, and Coombe is over the line in 32.46. Peter Bale has a Mazda rotary-engined Malek sports car. Cars with mid-mounted engines are well balanced, and that's essential in hill climbing. 6.92 for the first split, and this car has good road holding and an aerodynamic advantage, even at low speeds in hill climbing. Bale runs wide, and that'll cost him a few tenths. Traction has to be maintained throughout the climb, which is done on cold tyres. Bale is at 18.89 at the second split. The suspension has to be able to handle the undulations in the track. Cars suited to billiard table racing circuits aren't always able to handle the twists and turns of the hill climbs, and Bale's time takes the lead, 32.04. Andrew Ford has the Barana 374 with VW Golf power. Barana was part of the Adelaide racing car industry that was started by Elfin and continued by companies like K&A. Malcolm Ramsey and Tony Alcock built no expense spared cars, and this is a fine example of their work. 6.63 for the first split and 18.86 for the second gives Ford the fastest time so far. The 4-cylinder engine might lack the power at the top of the hill, but with a well-sorted chassis and a neat drive, Ford crosses in 31.88 to take the lead. Eric Barnes had to rebuild the engine in his Farrell Toyota overnight, but with strange noises still coming from the engine, he had to retire the car. He was offered a drive in Dwayne Wilson's traction-controlled Bowen and did the ungentlemanly thing by going faster than the car's owner in the early runs. 6.62 through the first split and 18.75 through the second. It shows the spirit in the sport that rivals will share their cars if needed. The time to beat, 31.88 of Andrew Ford. And the John Joyce designed Bowen P6 with a Leyland V8 storms across the line in 31.84. All the times are getting faster. What can Dwayne Wilson, the car's owner, do? He's been analysing the runs on his Motec data logger and is determined that he'll show who's boss. Through the first trap in a slower 6.83, but he makes up time approaching 120 on the run into the wall. The second split, 18.88, and he's still a tenth behind Eric Barnes. Through the S's, he gets the power on early, holds the car in a neat drift, and powers up to the line, crossing in 31.79, just 0.05 of a second faster than Eric Barnes. The last three runners, and young Denny Rumble has just finished rebuilding his Cheetah Renault. It's quick and noisy off the line. Rumble has the supercharged V6 Renault through the first split in 6.48, just behind Stan Pobjoy's time. The car is alcohol-powered and tended to by hill climbing legend Jack Wortmeyer. Scraping on the track, the second split in 18.67, still the second quickest to Andy Ford. There's a hand off the wheel through the S's, but he gets the point and squirt car revved up and crosses the line for a 31.60 run. The 5,000 strong crowd are enjoying the sunny Barossa weather, and the timing centre is ready for the final shootout. Roger Harrison's Tiger Repco, the local driver keen to make it 2 wins in a row in the championship. He's recovered after the early spin and he's on a charge over the split in 6.42 seconds, through the dip and around the wall. Harrison has had a long family association with Collingrove and feels that it's his track. He's the fastest through the second trap at 17.96 seconds. This is the steepest part of the track and it's important to keep the momentum going. However, Harrison backs off a little and he crosses the line with a 30.73. Will that time be enough to hold out Peter Gumley? Gumley has updated the supercharger on his SCV and the 1996 champion is determined to steal the title away from Harrison. First split 6.47, 0.05 behind Harrison's time. The trickiest corner is the first one and Gumley's been getting better at it on each run. This shows at the second split and he takes the lead at 17.92. Power from the VW engine is over 400 brake horsepower. Can he keep it wound up through the S's? Foot flat to the bulkhead and Gumley is across the line in 30.14, 0.6 ahead of Roger Harrison. Congratulations all round to the 1998 champion.
Last year we come over here and Roger just humiliated us. You know, he beat us by a second and a half. We couldn't put any pressure on him at all. But I think it's one of those tracks you've got to come here and have a run on it and then go home and have a good think about it, especially the first corner. The first corner, I really don't think I got the first corner right at all, but we started to get closer than what we had been through the weekend.
Okay, coming up here into the corner, let's watch the approach. Very smooth, let's look at the time to beat. 9:05, so slightly slower in that. He's trying to beat 23.69, a speed of 103 k's through the trap. So that's a pretty fast time through there at 103. Let's see what he can do. Nicely in the second gear, third gear as he mounts the hill up towards the starting point. Very, very tight on the inside of the track there, just hitting the tyres. You try and keep it smooth through the next section. Through at 113 kilometres an hour, out wide on the ball there, keeps the power down. Let's see if we get that second split time showing up. Yes, to 22.77. Takes off in car 120. 127, that's an Elford MG Formula B. He's up towards you guys. Out for a good speed, let's see what he can do. Comes across, it's 5.9. This time we've got the second split at 22.68, so he's definitely already. Is at 20.80, so he's looking for a very quick time. Equipment for these little Formula Fords. I call them a learner class, but they're exceptionally quick. Quickly extra way up the hill now. Using the outside of the track there, through the time trap. Let's see 108 k's. Very quick, very tight. Top 5 at 7.39. He's done a 21.16. He's on a quick time. Now the record for this. Scored up and quite cut it. 91 now. Mike Williamson, New South Wales, the Van Diemen are in. There he's faster again, let's see what he can. Yes, at 22.37, up the top of the track, he'll keep it nice and tight. Ragnar, it's been around for at least 20 years, this car. He has a lot of trouble occasionally as well. He's tangled in the pedals. This time he looks out. After 23 years, his time in the second section for 20 points. Number 7. There's a lot of power from that little car, even though it is so quiet. Okay, he's going through the section here. He definitely has a lot of horsepower. Can't seem to get a lot of traction. Rides in his times this weekend with the new Avon tyres. Away very nicely in first gear, second gear, third gear up towards the front. Initial understeer, but then hooked it back in. Let's see what he can do through the. So it looks like he could get into a low. By now number 59, Tony Brookman in the BAE Mark II. Getting the best out of this vehicle. He's redesigned some uprights on the back of this car. His time is good at 7.20. He's trying to beat 21.22. Speed 113, very, very quick through the trap there at 20.5. Victoria of the Hillclimb. It's a little bit of a bob down there as you got away, that might cost Gary about half a second. Struggling through this section, very, very twitchy, all out of shape going through the can't get the grip at the moment. Look at him go through these corners. He is trying ever so hard. The 20 point. There's a two-stroke. There's a factory Grand Prix motorcycle engine in this car. Plenty of power. It's like a button with this car. It's the wheel spin, first drive in it, and as you can see, it is very, very taily. On and off the power, and it comes on like an electric drill without a variable control. Through he goes to mid-section. Especially for hill climbing this car. As Stuart Kip gets underway, V8 makes plenty of time, a little bit fluffy. Stuart Kip. That he's sharing with Wesley Hexter, which is the reason why he's running at the moment. Sharing this car with Tony Brookman, her dad. Smashed it into second gear very rapidly. Rebecca keeps it very, very tight through him, a bit tighter than Tony, just touches the tyres on the way through. Speed.
Really moving. 20.23 even despite that little wiggle. Is that a bit of trouble?
Away now, car number 41 is John Bryson, the sole competitor in the category sports car. Very pretty.
All day, he's coming your way. He likes those tyres, doesn't he? Actually, his both as well. Really on the move, a 21.72, so a slightly slower middle spec for him. He's watching out for those bumps and drifting, so very much sticking to the middle of the track. Very, very easy to go. At a 21.73, so Roger is also on the improve. He's hoping to be... Very, very smooth. One of those very
Okay, through the speed trap, let's have a look at the time. 94 kilometres an hour, a very tidy looking car, smooth through the wall. And let's see if we can improve on a 23.34. Through he goes with a 23.35, so slow.
Short of switching off the engine, we can't do it off. As Andrew McLaren moves off with a little bit of a roll down to number 15, Brian Flapper.
Skills I've ever heard for onions repeating, that was excellent. Now nice and tight through the wall, looking good here. Let's see if he can beat this mid-course time, 23. Got the through the speed trap, 121, high up on the wall, pulls it back down low, back on the power. He keeps his foot down in this car. Let's see what he can do in the mid-course time.
Litres running in sports sedans up to 1.6 litres. 3 finally away max.
Watch him fly through here, through the speed trap. Through there, round through the wall.
Number 381, Ron Foley, submitting 850 in the same class, sports sedans up to 1.6 litres. Very good.
Back in line, but this is definitely going to cost a lot of time through here. Speed of 94.
Something Peter does for a living.
Actually doing a wide line through here this time, almost running wide, but usually seeing cut the corner, 112 kilometres an hour, a very good time through there. Peter Hall always pushes this car very, very hard. Let's see what times he's done at 20.57 for the top split. K's, but he's gone wide. Is he going to keep it off the arm coat? Yes, he pulled it back. Once again, we get these competitors who come through with a lot of speed into the wall, and you can see that. Coming through the speed trap now.
John Spinks in the amazing New South Wales BWB away.
this area here. Let's look at the time. Up comes the speed, 104 k's into the
litres to 3 litres. Change it to second.
Very loose, he's done a bit of a fish tap, he's up visiting the ambulanceman, but no, he's stopped him. Because it's got a turbo and it's got to run with a 3-litre car, there it goes. Inside and outside as he came through. Let's see what he can do through here into the wall. Good speed.
Number 270 Dave comes your way in the Mazda RX2.
Running very, very wide, got Taylor on the way out, but held it back in through the speed trap at 89, in the middle of the wall area there, back on the power, kept it fairly steady on.
Ready to go in 414 to dash 120 wire away with a big burst of sound and wheel. Second gear over that wide line, tips it totally around at the left.
Yvonne seemed to have a a bit of drama there with the gear change or selection. She's dropped it back a gear now. Let's see.
Unfortunately, just didn't quite get the coordination right getting up the line. It's a helicopter ride. You have to come back tomorrow to take your ride in the helicopter. That'll be good fun anyway. Wayne Burton again.
Pretty far through, he kept it tight, then drifted out wide through the speed trap at 112 kilometres an hour, up high on the wall, a little bit loose in the rear, but he pulled it back down.
That's John Hardy's car from Victoria. Mark
So obviously winning. Keeps it very, very steady through here. Looking nice. Comes through the speed trap at a time of speed, not a time, a speed of 94. Through the wall. Got a little bit loose there. Drop back down again.
away now in the Alfa Romeo GTV6. Very quiet, efficient sounding motor car, 2.5 litres. Number 36 of Mark Forgy. He's competing in Mark sports cars over 3 litres, goes away very nicely and quickly.
Very smooth through here, using outer part of the corner as he comes through. Speed of 1, according to our screen. I'm sure there's a malfunction there. Coming up to beat his mid.
V8 from the Waters clan. Got the soft top up for better aerodynamics. John Kemp, 3.5 litre V8 powered MGB GT. Nicely.
Definitely on the power early there. We can hear the wheel spin as he came out. Let's look at his speed, 100 kilometres an hour. That's quick, kept it very, very tight through that section of the track. Okay, use every one of those tyres on the inside of the track, the jack, line. So marginally slower there, but
ready to make a start there on that little blue Ford Escort Mark 1. Away nicely first and second gear and over the white line.
very clean and tidy through here. Let's see what the time comes up for the Escort. 96 for Beach through there.
It doesn't quite fit, does it? Running in club cars, 0 to 1600 cc.
Bikes out as he goes through, getting plenty of acceleration through there, looking for a speed time but too light.
Well, it's funny you've had the offers up there, but I've had none down here. Isn't it amazing? Penetrating away very, very quickly now. Just clips those tyres on the right.
Okay, through there quite smoothly. Let's see what time we cut through the speed trap. Up it comes, 81 k's into the wall.
Away gently now. Not too much wheel spin on the concrete. Landed nicely in the second gear with a bang. Car number 69, Robert Seidel, overcome an earlier fuel filter problem, going very nicely now.
It's got a 2-litre engine in it. Okay, let's see how it goes through that dip there. 96 mile an hour. A little bit loose on the way out. Back down. 3.28 for dip at the time. Will this be a personal best coming up through here for the day?
Running a 2-litre motor up front. Wiggling the away there, he's hardly snapped in the second gear.
Keeping it on the power, looks quite neat and tidy, comes through the speed trap, 93 k's, nice and tight into the wall, early apex there, back on the... look at the speed through the trap. Can't be right, set.
Much worked over engine by Stan Popjoy. Look at that wheel spin as that car gets underway. Close enough like the VW run. In a very similar car, a 2-litre VW Beetle, going like the clappers. They tell me these engines pull something like 8,000 revs.
But back on the power, through the traps, 104 kilometres an hour.
Very quick, just getting those revs right, drops the clutch and he's away. Phil Morris, very, very strongly and nicely with just the right amount of wheels, flicks right in there. Classic rotary sound as those wheels spin and bite. Bobs down a tiny, tiny bit, but gets away very nicely after that. Snap into second gear. Up to 3 litres, Mark mulligan away very nicely. A lot of power from that rotary engine, don't they really go when you wind them up?
Horsepower, but getting it to the ground on the tyres they have to run is very, very hard. He's locked the brakes, he's heading towards the Armco, pulled it back down, hasn't backed off the power, fishtailing around there like a carp out of water. He's away though, he's back over the timing tapes there, so he's back.
Another club car, up to 1.6 litres, a little bit of black smoke coming from the exhaust, slightly rich mixture.
Very smooth through the section of the track, Dennis, looking good, going through the dip there, speed of 100 kilometres an hour. Let's see what time he does. 100k. So a lot of these cars are quite tough. They're up to up, not even down there yourself. Okay, through the top section of the track there. Done that within 22.7. That's a good time through this section here. Keeping it neat through the top end.
Running as a club car up to 2 metres. Very strong little car this one.
Keep the power very steady through this section of the track. Let's see what the speed indicates. 94 k's into the wall.
Before, it must be the cook on board now. Snaps it into first gear, second gear, and away. Flips those tires.
Definitely flying through this section of the track here, looking for a speed through the trap. 100.
It's a 3.3 litre car of 202 in the old money. Oh dear, bogged it down just a little bit getting away, so he probably lost the best half a second there.
He reminds you a little bit of Grandpa Munster, but boy, when he gets in this car, he makes it fly. Look at him go through there. Surplus horsepower and very hard to get it down with those tyres. 100.
Relive is friendly. He's giving it a big hook now. Even better.
Through the section here, looking very smooth, using the outer line, coming through the speed trap. Let's see what it is. 90 kilometres an hour into the wall.
Another club car over 3 litres. Here that turbo pop off and he just reaches maximum rip.
Using every one of those tyres for extra traction. You might believe there's more traction on the tyres than the track. Let's see what the time indicates. Very early through the corner here, through the speed trap, speed of 100 k's into the wall.
The father sharing the drive. ride with the shorter carrot this weekend. Drove it away very smoothly and nicely, snapped it into second gear and up into that left.
Okay, through this section here, big burst of wheel spin as he got airborne. He's come into the wall, sort of a bit out of shape, but he managed to pull it back down. Had to button off a little bit there.
Very much a control formula. Why, very nice. The old taxi, up to you at the timing clock. Okay, Steve, look through.
Marginally slow there, Steve might be able to pick up some ground on the top end.
Victoria, another whole change gear away now very cleanly and snapped it into second gear. Hit it on the left.
As you say, Dennis, great to see all the interstate competitors here, and every time he goes up this track he's learning something about it. That time he's learning how loose you can be when you get into the wall. Held it down nice.
Vapour coming from the exhaust of this car. I hope that doesn't mean anything untoward. Michael Marrimore away very nicely, as with each of the other eight drivers.
Marrimore through this section looking quite good. He's
as Mark Goldsmith gets underway. Unfortunately bogs it down a wee bit in the twin cam escort number 21. A little bit of smoke coming from the exhaust.
through there, keeping the tyres on the inside, keeping it smooth. Yes, as you say, there's a little bit of smoke pouring out the back there, Dennis. This car's obviously done it.
From Victoria, an Escort RS2000, running as a road registered car up to 2 litres when it comes into that left.
Through he goes very, very neat. I suppose if you drive a car over here, you wouldn't want to wreck it because you have to drive it back home, but he's not looking...
Red Ford Escort. Not really a shopping car, although it's just got a good service.
Going through the corner here, very smooth. Bit of lock on the front with a bit of understeer. Through she goes, through the dip.
For you. Lucky programs number 97, 185 and 525 as Michael Richards gets underway in the RX-7 Turbo.
Let's see what speed comes through the dip here. Speed of 100.
Get a bit animated, but when you get the regular drivers, the commentating for you and reporting to, and you will hear it, the Australian Hillclimb
Hillclimb Championships for Shannon.
GT, the orange and black car, away very nicely with the sound of watts as we go forward now.
A bit of initial understeer, then back on the pound, blasting through it.
Don't they make it? 95 kilometres now in the first step, 8.48.
Let's see what happens here. He has to beat at 38.27.
He's running second in this class with a 38.02 so far, so let's see if Mark can do better than 37.91.
And then it says that's where we'll break into the 37s. Let's see if he's improved his time in that first second.
Hard in the first second.
Section to be on leading pace. Let's see what he can do. Coming through at 22.65, so marginally slower again. He's going to be...
Over 2 litres. The reason it's running in the class over 2 litres is because it's a turbo, which gives the engine quite a lot of boost. You can see that as it gets underway very smoothly and quietly.
This is very deceptive. This time no air conditioning on, the window is down. Okay, going through the speed trap here, 111 kilometres an hour. That is so deceptive. We could hear his radio blaring as he came past here, relaxing, but look at him go. Can he beat 22.07? He's done that with a 21.85, a great time.
Well, horsepower's in your favour if you can handle it. Well, I'm sure Simon can. Simon gets away very nicely and gently in this great big lump of a car.
And a little bit of initial understeer there and a bit of a bobble through here, but managed to pull it down through the speed trap, 96 kilometres an hour. Oh, very high as he went round the wall there. I breathed in, hoping to hold the car down. I don't know whether it worked. Let's see if he can beat 24.63. Going through now, 20.
Oh, absolutely, and Jacko gets right into it as he heads down through the dip. We'll pick up his speed. Oh, big spin, he tries so hard, round and round we go. So Jacko, he's had a big moment in turn.
Peter Forbes in the white Mazda RX-7.
Yeah, Peter didn't practice yesterday in the little white Mazda for road registered cars, but certainly showing good times today. 8.62 first split, and 40.5. And at 85 kilometres now down through the dip, 23.73 for the middle.
Reg Kenny very quickly underway now in a very crisp sounding Jaguar car, but it's a fairly quiet car by comparison.
Okay, slightly slower than his first time through this section of a 10.4.
Sign on the roof and doing it very, very nicely too. And just gives you an idea of the wide range of cars that driven brilliantly by David Jarrett. And now we've got Kenny running.
Subaru WRX Turbo, a road registered four-wheel drive car. Look at that thing fly. Lots of grip and lots of power.
I believe the Sultan of Brunei ordered one of these and had it modified for 350 horsepower over there, and he just uses it for driving around the palace. Okay, let's see. We're not driving around the palace now. Let's see what the time is in this section. Wants to beat 21. He's done that with a 20.81. These Subarus get...
Too much past the timing box. Karen's been very tidy in the car both yesterday and today. Sits away very nicely. There's lots of horsepower on the ground very neatly through that.
the supercar to have some fresh air. It's a beautiful sunlight hitting you away.
At the moment, as he came over here at the tower, just check and see a speed of 90 to a regular.
We'll just introduce Kevin Shearer, and that car literally jumped off the line here, and Kevin wiggles and squiggles at the steering wheel, grabs another gear, and heads through third one.
So it's all determination down here. We're sort of keeping our fingers crossed because we've had a bit of trouble with record in his health.
Running the Lotus. Ian Brock, who was only on 3 cylinders early in the Alpha Streamliner. Dean Rainsford, though, sensational this morning. We look forward to this battle. The interesting thing is Rainsford's now misfiring. Let's hope Ian Brock is behind this.
Well, it's a beautiful looking car, and as you said, the Lotus is a magnificent looking car, very similar to this Lotus as well. Who doesn't know Lotus? But 3.32, a very competitive car at one weekend. Got class record or class time of 38.65, made it a bit difficult for
Car 74, the Hillclimb Streamliner, and he's looking after the Gary Cooper Special, and still misfiring, unfortunately, Anne, for Ian Brock.
Yeah, well, the other thing you might need to know is the number of his car. The number, actually, this is the way the car is always presented. Here's another one of our drivers who travels interstate. He's also travelled overseas. Racing. The short box 7 is actually up for sale. That's Ian's car. He's having a little bit of fun with the at a time. Wonderful Australian made vehicle. Southern travel interstate, no historic vehicles, quite travelling interstate.
Bill Chappelle's is about to start. Stand clear because this guy was on fire on his first run, and I think it'll continue this time through.
The sound as that comes over the hill here, that TC Special. Looking special. There's not a lot for the Shackle brothers or Shackle family.
He joins us in the 5, and it says 591 on the side, but I'm sure it's meant to be 561. It's a Vitesse.
I think we might Victoria is the MGTC Special. Actually, the first time I've seen this particular car, a Speedboard here. They'll be looking a little bit, she's just running somewhere at 20.
Johnny Pittman finishes his run with a 43.67, and Ian here, and I said I'd never say this, about to grab another gear and head up the hill. And I'll give you his first Christian answer. This was a 9.3 Holt, 6-cylinder grey motor, and believe it or not, ladies, now it's got carburetor and points. Sitting on the grid 561, just finding the balance around. Gets a nice little hop as he lets the clutch out. Engine dies off cam, comes back on. You grab another gear and head your way.
Another one of those very elegantly designed cars, like the Lotus 11, the Streamliner, and the beautiful another car. Interesting to see where drivers.
Gary's heading your way.
Well, I love the shape of the mudguards on this, but is the best time so far.
And Malcolm Short puts the hands on the wheel, gets the revs up, clutches out, beautiful takeoff, picks up another gear and heading your way.
Another one of these. They certainly made an impression on motorsport in Australia and all the way around the world in this category.
I think it's his son Adam DeCosta today in the Minter Club, but nice early gear change, working very, very nicely as they work up through turn one.
Minter Club, and actually there was a series of these vehicles. This is just one of them, down to an 8 cars. DeCosta's run down to 8.31. He's improved on his second split. Now he's looking to improve. Originally built this car, raced it last weekend at Malala. Original car. He said, I won't tell how many years ago, but his crew has rebuilt it.
Support area and held for half an hour each. Each of the leading cars from each class next time round will be stopped at Half Ferme and will be put in there for half an hour. So Half Ferme is open. Okay, sorry about that. Jimmy Lambert's heading up the hill towards you. The 56 had a big spin. Better than where I sit.
Well, one of our Group N competitors, a 9.3. 22.117, so that's beats the previous time of Weymouth Wilson.
Okay, Peter Weymouth Wilson, the 551 entry from Victoria, the lovely Cooper S Mini for a historic group M over 1500cc. Grabs another gear and head your way.
Interesting to watch these cars as they come through and over the rise. If you haven't been up here, it's worth coming up to look at the rise because the previous
nice crisp, strong sound of engine. You reckon this one ain't yelling and heading up the hill. That's another gear and into turn one.
Formula 3 Leo Bates, a long time, really good at getting that.
Charge 6-cylinder Ford step. I want to go with this car.
When I first saw this car competing, I was told it was great for going the power. Little slower this time at 23.8. Out here, haven't seen it out for a little while. Improving also on 22.1.
Did 2 or 3 seasons here, spending more time on the circuit these days, but boy, looks like he's having some fun here.
Yeah, the Shannon Sports Fund is a great little car. Racing out at Mallard, really enjoys that. He was off to a few winter parties this year. Circuit racing, improving. Well, apart from the fact that it's black and yellow, I really can't tell you too much.
You know, I saved the best for last, didn't I, really? I knew I could finally catch you out.
It's not that hard to do. Went 3.5. You think 24.33, so South Australians out there in the competition, but as Phil 1-6, so he is on a charge. He's faster than his previous split. I think I've been around.
Adam heads towards the top of the hill.
We'll keep you nice and neat as we go through here. Slightly faster, louder. He's running a so a little bit slower. So you can see the midget button over here. Fairly typical of the Holland Brazil at 22.28. So he's
much. 306, Simon Jackson on the line in the Ford Falcon GT, another 5.8.
Stand a little bit. This is possibly one of the hardest things that one has to do as being a demoted Australian champion. It's sort of, when I won at Camperdown last year, as you know, I normally run 111, and there's a good reason for that, is when you win, you can take two numbers off and suddenly you're number one. So I suppose I better give it back.
First place getter of the Australian Hillclimb Championship. Welcome the Australian Hillclimb Champion for 1998.
But when you come to Collingrove,
well done, Peter, and congratulations on being Australian Hillclimb Champion 1998. Well done. And we've got a black A77 for David Lee. If those people